Hey guys, welcome to the next part of Stillwater. In the last part, we arrived to Nina's house, and now we're just investigating the house because something is apparently taking the family members. So yeah, greeted with a brightly lit hallway, Hugo notes immediately that the interior is just as grand. Adorned with floral accents and antique furnishings, the house itself exudes the word elegance. A classic rustic charm of the walls and floorings made from the pines wood. Hugo couldn't help but gape when he walked in. However, he noticed something even more distinct than the splendor. Beyond the seemingly perfect veneer, an unsettling air breathes throughout the house, leaving no room for doubt that the inside is far more terrifying than the outside. Please come this way. Oh, that's probably the grandfather. Bracing themselves to enter the dimly lit drawing room, at first glance, Hugo could not discern the silhouette situated far, at the far corner. Only the sparse lighting from the window pierces through a fraction of the room's darkness. However, as they approach closer to the silhouette, Hugo now understands the reason for all of Nina's unsettling, unsettling vagueness. Grandfather, grandfather, we have guests. Damn, he looks young. That's your grandfather? God, looks like Bruce Banner. Sitting on the armchair is a very young man, not much older than Hugo or Noah. He is dressed modestly and shares none of the imposing presence of the manor. No, rather, such luxury does not even remotely reflect on the man before them at all. It's as if the flow of time had stopped only for him while the rest had continued changing drastically without him. Just like the letter timeless, just like the letter timeless, delicate and jarring out of place. Staring only at the window, the young man sits there dazed with little acknowledgement of the people around him, so motionless, like a doll. Grandpa, these are the people I spoke of. This is Detective Warren and his two assistants, Colby and Noah. They're going to help us. And oh, his name's Henry. Even after introducing them to the head of the Mortimer estate, Hugo and Noah could not help but feel unnerved. The man before them is supposed to be frail and older than any of them, and yet here he remains forever unchanging, forever young. They've come a long way, so I'll be making some tea. Would you also like some, Grandpa? He does not reply back, nor does he glance at Nina or anyone else in the room. Owen fixates his gaze on the rain, nothing else. I'll be sure to make a cup for you too. She then timidly gestures. She then timidly gestures to Hugo and Noah back to the foyer. Bearing more questions, the two follow Uh, bearing more questions, the two follow Nina outside. But before they leave the drawing room, Hugo takes one last look at the young man. There's an all too familiar air about Henry Mortimer. His eyes, they're similar to his own. Whatever he must be longing for, Hugo knows it will never end well. Nina, Nina, that man. Yes, he's my grandfather, the one I asked you all to watch over. I know this is hard to believe, but Nina draws something out from her pocket. It's an old picture of a handsome man with slicked back hair wearing the finest of suits. The gentleman in the picture has a different air to him, one of wealth and power, none of which reflects at all on the current Henry Mortimer. It's almost as if looking at two different people. This isn't much to go by, but believe me, they are the same person. Then why does he look so young? It happened a few nights ago. I was on my way to get a cup of water when I heard a loud thud coming from my grandfather's room. I was worried that something fell over, so I went to go check. When I opened the door, I found him collapsed on the ground. I rushed to help him up, but when I did, he looked so different. He wore the same clothes that my grandpa wore that night. And his face, I recognized his face. He looked younger. So many things were rushing through my head at the moment, and yet I knew he felt familiar to me. I know it sounds bizarre the more I talk about it, but that's what happened. That that was also the same night I found that letter. It was next to him or the open. I'm sorry again for all this. No matter who I went to, they either said something was wrong with my family, or something was wrong with me or my family. With everything going on, maybe they're right. The pools of water, the letters, Lewis, and now this. I've been ignoring the signs for years and just blindly hoping things can get better if I try finding solutions on my own. That's not enough anymore. Maybe my family is really cursed. No, they're not. Curses aren't real. Detective? I think we easily get too involved in believing that sort of thing exists. In truth, the one who fixate on it make it their reality. Rumors, doubts, lies, all those things are what they want to become real. Deep-rooted emotions like that can't be possibly be healed or fixed right away. But like a curse, those emotions drag other people down with them. Personally, I think you are caught up in all of this. But I assure you, we'll see this through. For you and Mr. Mortimer. Thank you. Good. Now, our first priority is to find out more about Lewis. The letter you showed us back at the agency. Do you have it with you? Yes, it's here. Do you mind if I borrow it for a bit? I'll be sure to give it back. Of course, but what are you going to do with it? I've searched everything on that letter and I still couldn't come up with clues. I'll be using it as a reference or a guide, if you will. I'm afraid I can't discuss too much on the process trade secret now. Ha ha ha. Of course. I'll check upstairs. Noah, you and Colby check the ground floor. Got it. Before they leave, Before they leave to do their own investigations, Hugo grabs a hold of Noah's shoulders. He leans in close enough for Nina not hear. Keep a close eye on Mr. Mortimer and Nina, especially Nina. I don't want her to be dragged in more than she already is. So whatever happens, keep her safe. Hugo, you. Fine, but remember, yell for me, okay? I know, thank you, Noah. I'm counting on you. You too, boy. With a final nod at them, Hugo then goes towards the staircase and heads upstairs. Noah stares for a moment longer at Hugo's back before he disappears into the first floor, then turns to look at Colby. Well, it's time we get to work. Right, Colby? Investigation starts. Okay, here we go. The objective is to look around the area for objects to proceed. Story. Use the arrows or the arrow keys to move to a different area. Outlines will appear on a clickable object. On the top right is the hint button. Click, click it. Oh, click it will highlight an option you missed. Ooh, okay. There. So we're going to Scooby-Doo up here. Okay. Alright, let's start with Mr. Mortimer. Mr. Mortimer still sits motionless by the corner of the room, his gaze never leaving the rain. Okay. Let's go here. Okay, nothing. Oh, here we go. A large bookshelf stands close to the entranceway. It contains a couple of photo albums and a few phone books. Okay. An old rotary dial telephone. It looks like it's still in good use. Okay. A delicate arrangement of violets and white roses. They seem to be fresh and fairly new. Oh, here we go. Frames decorating the walls are covered in white sheets veiled with a tin lining of dust on top of each one. Wow, there are so many paintings covering. There are so, wow, there are so many paintings covering the walls. Are there more like this all over the house? Yes, my grandfather commissioned many back in the day, but sadly he doesn't do that anymore. I can't help but notice the paintings are covered. How come? I did that. I covered them up for my grandfather's sake. For his sake? Yes, he was pretty obsessed with them, you see. There were times when he would mutter to himself and would just stare at the paintings for days on end. It worried me so much that I had to cover them up. Since then, he hasn't stared at any of them. He just sits quietly looking outside. I see. About the paintings, I also noticed they all have a similar theme. They all had water in them. I know this isn't a coincidence since you've told us before, but if there's anything you know, anything else, then please tell me. Noah, can I ask you a question first? Sure, go ahead. Do you believe in mermaids? Mermaids? I don't suppose I do. Why? Cast her gaze to the floor. Nina anxiously fidgets and tightly clasps her hands together. Is she a mermaid? She then briefly sighs and continues. Well, there's a story, or rather more like a fairy tale that my family has passed down. A fairy tale? Yes, well, it feels like one to me. It was about a fisherman who fell in love with a mermaid. Every day and night he would go out by the shore to gaze at her beauty, but one day she vanished, leaving him confused and heartbroken. Determined he would sail many seas for a chance to see her again. Sailing from coast to coast, new lands beyond and back he would go. Not long after, fortune followed him all throughout his journey and made him one of the wealthiest and most highly respected in his village. However, despite all the wealth he gained through his travels, he never found the mermaid again. She would only be a dream, nothing more. And that's the end of the story. It doesn't end happily, but I guess there was a lesson behind all of it. I just never understood it. What do you think happened to the mermaid? I know it's, I know it's an exaggeration, yet I can't help but wonder. It's hard to say. I just feel bad for both of them. To be honest with you, I'm not a fan of sad endings. For me, I would wish the fisherman and the mermaid could see each other again, or at least that's what I think. Even if they weren't meant to be with each other. Yeah, I think so at least. I wouldn't want to imagine going through a journey all by himself. It's hard being alone. A journey all by yourself. Mortimer Estate, 11:30 p.m. After searching rigorously through each of the rooms, he knew his findings would eventually lead him here. This this is it. Hugo walks towards the nearest lampshade and switches. Sorry, I'm stuttering. Switches it on. Dimly illuminated, he sees the extent of how lavish this part of the house is, from the customized window drapes to the vintage furnishings. Everything here exudes that extravagance. But much like the interior Hugo has seen so far, he finds this one in particular reeks of it. Plastered from wall to wall are gloom lingers. It's as if the room itself is older despite its preserved sets, despite its preserved nature. Okay, let's see. Yeah, chest. A classic wooden chest lies at the foot of the canopy bed. Its lock still firmly holds, safeguarding whatever is inside. Okay, okay, let's go here. A meticulously organized set of academic books, ranging from non-fiction to geography, are all on display. However, hidden away behind a vast collection are some children's fairy tales, all carefully kept. Okay, anything else here? No. Ooh, An old photo of a lost time, a, s- an old photo of a lost time, a sweet summertime memory of a little girl with her beloved grandfather. So this is what he, I think this is older. Oops, dang, this is took some special lotion or something. So really young now. Scattered pieces of paper, all forgotten, lie waiting on the cold floor. Heavily etched markings are found scrawled all over the papers. Okay, here we go. A letter-bound journal rests on the edge of the table. Its pages are torn out so haphazardly that the binding itself is starting to fall off. Atop the fireplace, unblemished and unmarked by time, hangs a curious and familiar painting of a beautiful woman floating on water. The mermaid? I think we're Tiba. Oh, okay, maybe we did. A pristine pearl white tea set. A pristine pearl white tea set sits patiently by, untouched and unused for quite some time. I need to hurry. I don't want to stay here for too long. Mortimer Estate, 11:50 p.m. I think it's actually more. Okay, I'll say Mortimer. I think that makes more sense. Mortimer Estate, 11:50 p.m. He searches, and still there is no sign of Lewis. To Hugo, even if there is a fragment, a singular thread to that person, to the real to the real selves, he could find them. But there is nothing. Not one thing pertaining to him. It's as if the thought of Lewis barely exists at all. What is going on? I clearly sensed that presence from before, but it's gone again. Damn it, I wish I had more time. No, calm down, it has to be here. I just need to focus. He ponders again, retracing every step and every little detail, hoping that he overlooked something. Yet all he, kn- Yet all he knows is that the one tangible thing that connects him, that tethers so closely to his space, most of all to Henry, is the letter. Words of promise, of love, all delicately etched onto a page, but tainted with a powerful and dark emotion that has been festering for too long. Tainted. From the very start of all this, he could believe that whoever Lewis was, they were the ones responsible. He thought he could find them and convince them to stop their haunting for good, to bring them peace and to move on. However, that isn't the case anymore. The unnatural force that binds everyone so closely together in his family is not the cause of an angry spirit. No, it's something far more devious than that. As he, ta- as he takes the letter out from the envelope, he notices a change within. Bearing no foreboding dread at the bottom of the page, it looks just like a regular letter, or rather, what it once was, a sad and tragic love. If you can't come, then I understand. Things have gotten more complicated with your mother ever since she found out about Ezra. I'm sorry, Henry, for everything. It hurts to see you so torn up like this. I will never hurt you or drag you along with me. Or if this is to be our farewell, then can I ask you one last favor? Could could you keep my locket? I know this is selfish of me, but I'd like for you to have it. I'd be happy to know it's safe with you. My heart will forever be yours, Henry. With love, with love always, Lewis. So this was a, so this was, so this was the true letter. A small warmth emanates from the paper, wrapped closely around his fingers, quiet and soothing. The fragment Hugo was searching for. Lewis, I'm sorry. You are also a victim in all this too. Please, if you can hear me, I need your help. Without warning, the sound of a click can be heard across the bedroom ocean, as if something unlocked itself. Hugo turns his head towards the sound and sees the chest. Bro, I feel something's gonna pop out of there. Unlike the Unlike the other furniture, its dark and rustic features have not been maintained well. Left to rot on his own. Suddenly he stops at the sound of a voice, a sweet voice whispered, "Oh, beckoning him towards the fireplace. Come here, my dear sweet boy. Mm, let's see. Alright, let's go to the pain. It's gonna make jump scares. There, mounted by the fireplace, is a painting of a beautiful woman floating on water. Her pale skin is incandescent, brilliantly prominent against the contrast to the dark, murky waters that keep her hidden, keep her bound to the canvas. Hugo stares intensely at the picture, and an emphatic sorrow swells within him. Disarming his very senses to force him to inch closer, surrendering himself to his sweet soul. Poor thing, how lonely you must feel. You are a lot like him, like Henry. As Hugo approaches closer and closer to the painting, and his mind is screwing to run, he sees it. He can finally see beyond the facade. He can finally see beyond the facade the lady portrays, for what the painting truly is. But don't worry, I could take away that sadness. A deformed creature, a mermaid, floats above the surface, the voice whispers. Large hollow eyes stare back, boring deeply into his eyes. Oh shit. Her skin is melting, bleeding, heavily dis okay. Her skin is melting, bleeding, heavily this black ichor as it gushes out from the canvas. Some of it starts to hit not only the floor, but at Hugo as well. The black fish's tar clings persists. These fancy words. The black fish's tar clings persistently onto him, unrelentless as they continue to pile up, and he feels it. What drew him initially to his sting, a deep sense of longing rushes through him, stuffing out what little control he had left, finally embracing his nature, to come home, take my hand. Without hesitation, Hugo reaches out his hand while his body leans in closer to the mermaid. She grabs and pulls him in. Not once looking back, he dives and falls after her, returning to nothing. Maddening beyond the pain. Okay, damn. So we got the bad ending. Okay, I thought there was gonna be a jump scare. That's why I covered my face. Okay, so let's go back. So now we won't go to the pain. No, stay focused, Hugo. I won't let it get to me. Preparing himself, he heads towards the chest and opens it. Inside, scrambled together, are bunches of notebooks and small trinkets. Hugo, Hugo continues to rummage through when he stumbles across an old newspaper article. Young man found dead by the lake. An unidentified young man was found on the morning of XXX, 3 days prior to his death, according to police. Ruled as a suicide, police have claimed that the troubled youth drowned himself. Sorry guys. This certainly is a tragic loss, an unfortunate event indeed. XXXX comments. No claim of his body has been made yet. Lewis. By the corner of Hugo's eyes, he spots a bright glint bird beneath the clutter. He reaches for it. A lock of brilliant gold shines unblemished, retaining a timeless luster. Inside its safeguards a picture of a young man with glasses smiling brightly. This must be the locket that he was talking about. It's so pretty. I'm surprised it still shines like this. In his picture. Did he put this here? No, it might have been Henry. Why would he store it away like this? What should I do? Okay, let's save. Okay, let me get the put this here? No, it must have been. Okay. Let's. Okay. I think I'm gonna. Let's take the lock. Yeah. I should probably hold on to this for now. Take it to him, please. Louis? A gentle but distant plea echoes in Hugo's heart. A forgotten ache of yearning and regret grips him deeply. Feelings out of his own start to rise like small ripples on a pond, wanting to be found again and remembered. Don't worry, I'll bring it to him. I'm not sure of it. Hugo's about to put everything back into the chest when he feels a wet and cold sensation crawling up his butt. Oh, what the? Hey, yo, what do you mean by that? Water. Pool of water relentlessly spreads across the floor, already seeping to the chest. Damn it, no. Shit. Oh no. Suddenly the lights shut off. This is getting kinky. So, a scream is heard, followed by a myriad of shouts. Hugo is about to call out to Noah, but stops at the sight of pale feet before him. Oh shit. Looming over him stands a tall and ominous figure. His face is shrouded in complete darkness, devoid of any human emotion. It appears as a young man, but Hugo knows what Hugo, but Hugo knows that it's far from it. No, this very thing is trying to imitate a human form, trying to be human. Hugo could only stare back. Paralyzed with fear, he's forced to watch the horror as it slowly creeps towards him. Oh shit. It's just like before, the sensation of someone staring at him from within. But this time, it's drawn nearer. Itching ever so closely. The words the words to call out to Colby or Noah fail to reach out. Lodged in his throat, he struggles in pain. With his breathing shallow, he tries to force his body to move. Then it stops. Looking down at Hugo, filled with nothing but miles of contempt, it speaks. Oh shit. Don't get in my way. Oh shit. Okay. Sorry. Oh my god, sorry guys. I know I keep covering my face, but there's gonna be a jump scare again. All of a sudden, the door to the bedroom slams shut and an entity disappears. The tension from his body finally releases. The tension from his body finally releases its agonized grip, and he gasps. He gasps. And he gasps desperately for air. His vision blurs and his breathing is haggard. He staggers towards the door. He yanks up the handle several times, but it's tightly jammed. Oh shit. Fuck. Noah, Colby. To his dismay, he's only greeted with silence at the other end of that door. Damn it. From a distance, he faintly hears the sounds of Colby's relentless bark as it gets further away from the house. Hugo rushes. Is the house made of water? Splash. Okay. Hugo rushes towards the window. He tries to pry it open, but just like the door, a heavy force prevents him from doing so, like being underwater. His move, his movement slowed. His move. Ugh, come on, okay. His movement slow and drawn out, as if being dragged down by that thing. Fuck this. Frankly looking around the room, he spots a nearby chair. About a, mo- about a moment sooner, Hugo grabs the chair and starts to strike the window. Bit by bit, the window cracks get larger with each blow, splitting off smaller pieces. What the hell is this thing made out of? Still trying to catch his breath, he musters all the strength he has left for a final blow. Damn, you just break already. Clearing out the remaining glass shards, Hugo peers his head out to see any railing he can grab hold of. However, he discovers instead that the wall adjacent is covered in ivy. Despite how heavy the rain has, well, despite how heavy the rain has drastically become, he reaches out for it, grabbing a handful of the vines. Carefully, he climbs out the window, gripping tightly and making sure he doesn't lose his footing. Yet to his luck, the patch of vines he clutches. Yet to his luck, the patch of vines he clutches start to tear away from the wall. Out of desperation, he struggles to find his grip on another, but fails when his hands slip out. Of reach. Shit! Clamoring wildly as he loses grip on the ivy, he crash lands down onto a thicket of bushes. Air forced out of him, he heaves uncontrollably. Ugh. Dude, I need to go back to English, bro. Man, it's reading so hard. Air forced out of him, he heaves uncontrollably, trying to even out his breathing. But even that is labor. Oh my god. But even that is laborious. An immense pain spreads across not only his back but his entire body. God, I'm getting too old for this. Although his body screams out in pain, he forces himself up. There's still time, I can't do this, I have to do this. No, there's still time, I can do this, I have to do this. With staggering feet and haggard breathing, he makes his way to the place where it all started. To the lake. To the lake, where this tragedy starts and ends. Lake. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Okay. Alright, so I think I'm gonna end it there, guys. But yeah, that was a crazy episode. So, let me go back. Okay, so I guess like so far, I guess like the mermaids from the paintings is, or like the I know in the bad ending, the mermaid took Hugo inside a painting. So my theory is that the mermaid is the one that's taking all the family members. But I guess we'll find out more info in the next episode. So get ready for the next part tomorrow. Peace.
We do not care.